In this lesson, we're going to introduce the concept of storage area networks. So what is a storage area network, or SAN for short? So a SAN is a specialized and dedicated high-speed network that provides network access to block level storage. So there's a couple of key concepts I want you to realize in this statement. Number one is a specialized and dedicated high-speed network. So a SAN is a network. And number two, it provides network access for block level storage. Those are the key things that I want you to remember when you hear the term SAN. So a SAN is made up of hosts, servers, switches, and storage arrays. It uses three protocols: Fiber Channel, which is FC, Fiber Channel over Ethernet, which is FCoE, and iSCSI, or Internet-based SCSI. So the big thing to realize with Fiber Channel, that's block level storage, it uses a lossless protocol because of the fact it is block level. Block level storage has to have guaranteed transmission from the host to the storage. If not, you're going to run into all sorts of problems. This is a big departure from your traditional TCP IP and Ethernet based network, which is best effort delivery. In storage, that just would not work. So now let's jump into the history of storage area networks. So SAN, again, is not a new concept. It was introduced in the 1990s and grew in popularity in the 2000s. And again, this was back when the traditional model of storing data was individual silos where each server had its own direct attached or locally attached storage. And SAN was a way to deal with some of the growth we were seeing in data at that time. And we need a more centralized approach to address ease of management, and also just to be able to have a environment that would be able to scale to deal with the amount of data we were seeing in data growth. Initially, it was very expensive and only used by large enterprises, and that was the case. The first protocol introduced for storage area networks was Fiber Channel, and Fiber Channel required dedicated hardware and specialized switches and specialized adapters in the servers called HBAs. So it was exponentially more expensive than using your traditional Ethernet network with other technologies like NAS. But the thing about SAN was, being block-based, it was a network that was purpose-built, and it was a protocol that was purpose-built to deliver SCSI commands across a network. So from a host perspective, it didn't realize it was traversing a network to talk to its disk. It just seemed like a locally attached disk from the host operating system's perspective. It was a better method to centralize data among multiple computers compared to general-purpose servers and NAS. And the key thing to remember here is, without SANs, we would have never had virtualization, at least virtualization, server virtualization, the way we understand it today. So it was really that first step as we moved into more of that virtualized, software-defined data center, public cloud, is we had to have an approach to be able to allow different hosts to be able to share the same data. iSCSI was introduced and was a more cost-effective option. So iSCSI was TCP based. So there were certain challenges that iSCSI had. The fact it was TCP based that made it not as reliable as Fiber Channel. However, it allowed smaller organizations to be able to build storage area networks and made it more cost effective because you didn't necessarily have to have all that dedicated infrastructure. Just like NAS, you could use your general purpose network gear that may already be in place to be able to pass iSCSI traffic. So it definitely brought SAN to the masses and to most organizations, and it really caused and allowed SAN to take off. And at that point, we're talking probably as we got into the 2000s. FCoE was introduced later, closer to the late 2000s, and really FCoE brought Fiber Channel over Ethernet. So Fiber Channel over Ethernet is different from iSCSI for a couple of reasons. iSCSI is TCP based, Fiber Channel over Ethernet is not. It's Ethernet based, so there's no TCP or IP. So Fiber Channel over Ethernet was a move to allow convergence of both Ethernet or LAN and Fiber Channel SANs under one cable. In this case was 10 gig networks. And at that time, 10 gig was really starting to grow, and the industry was needing a 10 gig transport in order to be able to handle the type of throughput and what applications were requiring. So that pretty much gives you an idea of what a SAN is and gives you some background on the SAN. See you on the next lesson.